Story time about how my attitude about gratitude changed. In 2014, I went to a leadership retreat where Rich Bluey spoke about his book, Inspired Nurse. And in this particular example, he was sharing about how nursing struggles with this concept of gratitude, that nurses are trained to find everything wrong, and we chart by exception, and we look to see what's wrong with the patients, and that kind of seeps into the rest of our lives, and we begin to look and see what's wrong with our jobs and what's wrong with our spouses and even what's wrong with our kids. And so he wanted to turn our hearts around towards gratitude, and he said he had tried journaling, but that didn't really work for him. And so he recommended that because people rarely drive yellow cars, that every time everyone sees a yellow car, that they have to say something that they're grateful for. So I really took to that, and I was very inspired by that, and my whole family does it. But this particular day, there was a yellow car in front of me far off, and I had had one of the worst days at work that I had in a long time. And I looked at that yellow car and I said, not today. And because I can't, just be in misery by myself, I have to share my misery with others. I snap a pic of that car, text, when I'm not supposed to be texting and driving, my coworker so that we can complain together. And I'm like, I'm not going to be grateful today, can't find anything, blah, blah, blah. Really super negative. So we're about to turn left, and I think that car is going to keep driving, but no. What does it do? It turns left right before I can get to it. So I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna have to follow this car the whole way home. And now I'm speaking directly to the Lord, and I'm saying, and I wasn't necessarily a big Christian follower back then. I would tell you I was spiritual, but whatever. Anyway, so I'm telling the Lord, not today, Lord. I'm not gonna do this today. Not today, not today. And I remember specifically going over again, not today. And so when we got stopped at a light, and I'm right behind this yellow car, and I look, and I cannot believe what this yellow car says. And when I read that license plate says every day, and my spirit knows that it says every day, and I know that the Lord is talking to me and telling me every day, I just broke down in tears. And I didn't tell anybody about that for a very long time, because I really felt so ashamed that I had to sit there and say that I would not have any gratitude for the things that I had, the blessings that I had. Mind you, I was even pregnant with my child. Like, there was no reason for me to have that attitude about gratitude. And I was very humbled in that moment. And I look back on that moment now, even like 11 years later, feeling that instant conviction that I felt in that moment. And I'm going to tell you this, okay? There is so much to be grateful for, regardless of what hardships you have in your job, regardless of what hardships you have in your life. There is so much to be grateful for. And if you just turn your heart to that gratitude, you're going to see a lot of change. And so I would love to hear something that you're grateful for in the comments.